3 days to election 2020. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. As we celebrate 25 years of media excellence, this bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios here in Kokomlemle at digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country including ATL FM in Cape Coast, Radio Max in Takrade. We're around the world at myjoyonline.com. In this edition, Ghana Institution of Surveyors confirms audit report into the construction of the Saglemi Affordable Housing Project after Works and Housing Minister alleged over $100 million were embezzled by the contractor under the NDC administration.
When you do proper quantity survey analysis by the expert, the theft is 104 million. You've not even done 20% of the housing units you're supposed to deliver.
We'll speak live with the president of the institution, politicians across the divide, including leading members of the NPP and NDC flag bearer Throngman Kesim, to commemorate 1 week since the death of Mfantsiman MP Eko Kwanza Hayford.
I'm just shattered.
So for somebody representing a constituency to be taken away like that is a blow. Every human being's life matters.
We're live on the ground. All students currently at home due to COVID-19 to be promoted automatically when schools are reopened fully next year.
Everybody is being promoted. Even those whose academic work was truncated will be promoted.
We'll hear from the GES, which is also considering adopting a single track for returning students to replace the double track system. And later in the bulletin, confident of breaking the NDC-NPP duopoly, will put the spotlight on the promises, policies and ideologies of minority political parties in Ghana.
You said what's our target? I said 50% plus. And that is our target. A target is a target.
I'm not interested in 8 years term. I am only interested in 4 years.
So with our policies, it's not just free SHS. It is free from kindergarten to tertiary.
5 presidential aspirants on one stage will battle it out tonight as we build up to the Joy News and Imani Africa Minority Party debate tonight in sport.
Former Black Stars skipper Samojan in trouble following an allegation of assault and threat of a civil and criminal lawsuit.
That and more in this edition of the Midday News with me, Emefa Apawu. Please stay for details. Thanks for your company. Let's settle for the details. Now, in our very first story for this afternoon, the Ghana Institution of Surveyors has confirmed to Joy News it conducted an audit into the construction of the Saglemi Affordable Housing Project. Now, this comes after Works and Housing Minister Samuel Atachia alleged over $100 million were embezzled by the contractor under the NDC administration. The sector minister also indicated that a copy of that report has been given to the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police for investigation. Now, he made this revelation on Manifesto Track on PM Express on the Joy News channel last night.
When you do proper quantity survey analysis by the expert, the theft is 104
Evans, let me just
million. You've not even done 20% of the housing units you're supposed to deliver.
So who embezzled the money?
Well, it's interesting for you to know. The contractors, if you want to ask me, and then those who aided them to do it.
Mr. Collins Dowda was the minister at the time.
Yes.
Has he been spoken to?
He's been invited.
Did he honor the invitation?
He had no choice.
Now, the Works and Housing Minister Samuel Atachia speaking on PM Express with Evans Mensah last night, but the minority spokesperson on Works and Housing Committee, Emmanuel Kwesi Bedra, who was on the same show, questioned the authenticity of the report.
Anybody at all can produce anything. Goodness me, you're saying that he sort of... No, I'm not doubting. Okay. I said anybody at all can produce anything.
He's a respected member.
Evans, let's find out from the institution whether this was done by the institution.
That's the minority spokesperson on Works and Housing Committee, Emmanuel Kwesi Bedra. Shortly, will be joined on the phone by the president of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors, Dr. John Amaglo, and they conducted that research. He joins us on the line. Thank you very much for your time here on the Midday News. So, first off, when were you commissioned to undertake this audit? Hello, Dr. Amaglo.
Yes, I'm on the line.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I'm asking when you were commissioned to undertake this particular audit.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and good afternoon to all your cherished listeners. Ghana Institution of Surveyors, as a professional body, received a letter on the 3rd of April 2020 from the Ministry of Work and Housing to actually undertake a project construction audit of the Seglemi housing project so that they will be able to actually continue the project. And this was actually done by the institution, and a comprehensive and thorough report was actually issued out.
Now, I'm curious about what you found during that audit.
With all due respect, the document is a voluminous document that was actually done with experts. As I can say, Ghana Institution of Surveyors, we have been doing value for money project auditing. This is not the first one that we have done. So if our client, who actually gave us the work, need any clarification, we should be able to actually do the clarification to the best of our ability. But for now, the report as it is, if there is any portion that somebody wants any clarification, we are ready to do that.
So we want clarification on a few things that have come up so far from that audit that you conducted.
For now, I may not be able to speak to the nitty-gritty of the report.
So in summary, I'm sure you have an executive report, a summary on everything that you found. Amongst others, we are told that $100 million were embezzled by the contractor under the previous administration. What do we know about that? Is that a true representation of what you found?
Please, the document is in parts, and the executive summary, anyone who read it can put any interpretation to it. But the good thing is that the project is existing on the ground. So whatever come out of our findings, they're there. Anyone can put any interpretation to it.
Oh, so in order not to put any interpretation, Dr. Maglo, in order not to put an interpretation to what we've seen or what we've heard so far, I'm asking specifically, were there some embezzlement? Was the contract bloated? What exactly did you find? If you can just give us a brief on what you found in that audit.
The terms of reference is to do construction project audit so that the project can be continued.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The findings we have, they are physical on the ground, and I am not in a position to speak to the details. That's why I'm saying that anyone who does not actually understand any portion of the document, if our client gives us the permission to actually meet with those questions, we'll be able to answer them. But now the document speaks for itself, and I want to leave it at that.
Okay, so you are not able to tell us if there was an embezzlement and if the contract sum was bloated.
I'm not ready to speak to that question.
But as it stands now, would you say that the Seglemi housing project, from what you saw in terms of the amount involved and all, is it worth what the taxpayer has put into it?
That is what I'm not able to speak to. The document is available to actually speak to that. Anyone can interpret it anyhow. But one thing that is obvious is the fact that the project was well thought through. The specifications and then the standards are there. But the details are in the report for everybody to actually get hold of it and read. Okay,
so the work that you've done, finally, Dr. Maglo, and what you were hearing about the work that you've done, does it correspond? Is it a true representation of what the work that you did in terms of what you've heard out there? So that in case I have not read the document, or those who have not read the document, for instance, I'm hearing that there was some embezzlement and all. Is that a true representation?
I'm not ready to speak to the word embezzlement. That is my problem.
Okay, but what are you ready to speak to? Was there an overbloating of the amount? Is that the true amount, looking at the project on the ground?
I'm saying that as far as the project is concerned, our findings that are well documented in a voluminous report can speak for itself.
Well, Dr. Amaglo, we are grateful for your time. That's Dr. John Amaglo. He's the president of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors, and he's been speaking about the work, the audit that they conducted on the Saglami housing project, which has become a subject of criminal investigations. And we're told that some persons in the previous administration have been invited to answer questions on that. And that came up on the manifesto track on PM Express on the Joy News channel last night. This is the Midday News. We move on to some other stories now. And leading members of the New Patriotic Party have thronged the central region town of Mankasim for the one-week observation of the death of the Mfantsiman MP Eko Kwanza Hayford, Gender and Social Protection Minister Cynthia Morrison, and National Youth Organizer Samia Uku spoke to Central Regional Correspondent Richard Kujonyako a while ago.
So for somebody representing a constituency to be taken away like that is a blow. Every human being's life matters, but because of this particular peculiar situation, that is why we classified as that. It is painful. All of us will die one day. That is what I say. How we are going to die is the issue. So whoever took a course life should know that he can also be called one day. So it is not necessary. Even if you don't like somebody, it is not about taking a life. Even with animals, we have a way. If you are not going to use a goat or a cow for food, you just shoot the cow or the goat and dispose of the body. No. And so it is wrong and it is sad.
It beats my imagination as a young man and as a young politician. I'm saying this because it can happen to anybody. In the line of duty, you are campaigning for your seat. This man was simply a very harmless man. You hardly hear him dabble in controversy. You are from this region. You are in this region. You've been covering for multimedia for years. I'm not sure he's one of the MPs that you will say always makes the news, either for the bad reason or for controversial reasons. And I'm just shattered.
Now let's go over to a man on the ground, Richard Kujonyako, to tell us more on the current happenings at the one-week observation. Could you bring us up to speed on what's happening as we speak?
Well, so Emefa, it's a solemn ceremony that has just been done. The Bushiapenyi of the family of Kwanza Hayford has announced the date for the burial and the final funeral rites of the late MP. Is being scheduled for the 28th of November. In fact, the Vice President has been here as well as bigwigs of the NPP, and we are told that the former President will just be arriving soon here. What we are learning here is that two persons have been arrested in connection with that, but the police are yet to confirm that. So this has not been confirmed by the Central Regional Police Command.
Well, we'll wait for that confirmation, Matt. Also, there are reports suggesting that the late MP had another wife, because we know that the current one, we're told, is being replaced. Is going to replace him as the parliamentary candidate. But we're told of another wife. You've been speaking to family members. What did they tell you?
Well, so this is public knowledge here at Mfantsiman. In fact, the other wife is a nurse and lives at Tapa in the Western region, and they also got married in 2013. That is what she indicates. She indicated to us, and we are also told that Ophelia Hayford was also another wife. So two wives. He had two children with the one at Tapa and two children with the one who has currently been scheduled to replace the husband here.
So have we been told, I'm sure it's come up during the one-week observation, as the party told you then, which one will be replacing the Mfantsiman, the late Mfantsiman?
Well, so it is obviously clear that the police, the one who is Assistant Superintendent of Police, who just resigned her position, is taking the place of the husband. And we are also told by Samia Uku that the woman has been campaigning with her husband when the husband was alive. So it's obvious, pretty clear, that she is the one that is replacing the husband.
Well, that's Richard Kujonyako. Thank you very much. We have our eyes on the Mfantsiman MP in that constituency as they observe the 1 week of his passing. Now, the Northeast Region Police has arrested an officer accused of facilitating the illegal acquisition of a gun license for a suspected thief undergoing trial at the Nalurigu District Court. Inspector Felix Bekle, who formerly worked with a formed police unit, is alleged to have taken pictures of the gun being held by prosecutors as exhibit in court and used his colleagues within the service. He used this to create a gun license for the alleged thief pending trial for the processing the same gun without license. The Inspector General of Police has since directed seizure of his guns while investigations proceed. Northeast Regional Correspondent Ilyas Tanko has been speaking with the police commander there.
Our primary investigations revealed that photographs of the weapon was taken in the charge office, Naragu Police Station charge office, and sent to Accra. We realized that the document indicated that it was issued by the Tesano Police. That is the license of the weapon. It was licensed at Tesano Police. And we're wondering how it could be licensed when the weapon at that time was in the custody of the police. So a preliminary investigation was led to that place, and we found out, it was revealed to us that Mr. Bekele took the photographs, sent to his colleague also at Accra in one of the police formations, FPU, and he is the one who sent the photograph of the gun bearing the serial number of the gun to the Tesano Police Arms and Ammunition Section to be registered. So when I got the information, I asked that they escort the inspector to my office for interrogation. In the presence of the Deputy Regional Police Commander, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Mr. Ali, and the Regional Crown Officer Lieutenant, Mr. Duga. Upon interrogation, initially he denied, but later when I confronted him that looking at the photograph, it was taken at the charge office where he is a station officer, and that he took the photographs. Then he admitted.
Meanwhile, the Small Arms Commission has revealed more people in the country acquiring guns to protect themselves. Thankfully, the Executive Director of the Commission, Joan Supple, joins us with more. Thank you very much for your time. Let's talk about guns and what is accounting for the rise in acquisition.
Well, that is very difficult to, and it's a very difficult subject to, fathom. But what we can, our concern is what we are seeing, what the figures are telling us. But I believe in a related interview that I got earlier, a colleague sister station, a TV station, they raised the issue of maybe the perception of insecurity, which I very much will not dispute. Well, clearly, from what we read and what we see in the media landscape, it calls for concern, and it is very troubling. And if you look at the statistics, to what is indicating that from January to June, we've seen a 74% increase in the number of firearms that have been registered by civilians, according to the Police Service current statistics 2020. It set us, thinking a bit. So we are trying to find out why.
Okay.
A lot more people, but I don't think it's really related to the elections. A lot of people have come to and they think that it's related to the election. I don't think so. I believe Ghanaians are very peaceful people, but clearly from what the kind of insecurity matters that we've heard all around the country, a lot more people think that by owning a firearm they can protect themselves. Also, although that is a myth, because owning a firearm really doesn't guarantee your security.
Well, but from your statistics, the concern for some of us is whether these firearms or guns are actually in the wrong hands. Are they licensed? Do we know that all these are in the right hands?
Well, the statistics indicate that 74.4 increase in the number of weapons that have been registered this year from January to June. Now, in terms of whether they are in the wrong hands or or not, it's also a $1 million question. Another thing that we are also worried, that I believe is a concern, is the issue of the non-renewal. So to the extent that we want to know whether the weapons are renewal, we can say yes. So according to police data, for instance, we have about 1.2 to 1.25 million people owning firearms. Yearly, we get about 30 to 40,000 people renewing. And that calls for concern, because we don't know whether people want to go under the radar to use their weapons to commit crimes, whether the weapons have been stolen and the owners have not reported, whether their weapons have become obsolete, whether they are faulty. So these are matters that we need to interrogate.
Okay. We're grateful for your time. That's the Executive Director of the Small Arms Commission, Jones Sapler. We'll stay a while longer on security issues because the IGP, James Opombueno, is in the Ashanti region, and Naya Ojima bring us up to date on his visit. So what exactly has necessitated the IGP's visit to the region, do we know?
So the Inspector General of Police is here to meet his men and update the public on what they are doing so far to ensure that there is peace in the country before, during, and after the election. And the first place that he visited today was the Menchia Palace, where he met the Asantehene to inform him officially that he's here, and also speak to him about security concerns in the region, especially in relation to elections. The Asantehene told him that the people in the region and the whole of Ghana are expecting the police to be neutral and ensure that they do their job to the best of their ability.
That's my colleague Nanaya Ojima. Now, if you're a parent and you're wondering what becomes of your child's education in light of the closure of schools due to the pandemic, you can breathe easy now. That's because the Ghana Education Service has revealed that children from kindergarten to JHS2 will be allowed to advance to the next stage without any assessment or examination. Now, schools have been closed for more than 6 months since Ghana began recording cases of COVID-19. Deputy Director General of the GES in charge of quality and access, Dr. Kwabena Bempa Tando, has been speaking on Prime Morning on the Joy Prime TV.
When schools open in January, everybody is being promoted. Even those whose academic work was truncated will be promoted. 2 reasons. Number one, every year the education system led by Ghana Education Service, but with our private schools, we're taking anywhere between 500,000 to 600,000 new students, KG1 students who are coming in. This pandemic and the closure of schools means they are marking time, they are waiting. So you can't, if you let them continue to mark time and wait, if this virus lasts for 3 years, you would have a large number of children who have not had the opportunity to enter school. And Ghana Education Service, working with UNICEF, we are pushing right age enrollment. And so if we do that, we will have a lot of children in the back. So everybody will be promoted. Interesting. But I want to also let everybody know that it is the same teachers who are teaching these kids. So while the kids are promoted to class 2 or class 3 or class 4, the content of their academic work will begin from where it was truncated in March.
Now, the Deputy Director General of the Ghana Education Service in charge of quality and access, Dr. Kwabena Bempa Tando. Now, he also revealed that government is considering adopting a single track for returning students to replace the double track system, which some parents have raised concerns with. This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. And A is for apple, B is for ball, C for all the way to Z for zebra. Our children, even all of us, learned the letters of the alphabet for hundreds of years through this simple association. Now, today is Global Hand Washing Day, and as part of the celebration, Lifebuoy has launched the H for Hand Washing initiative. Starting on Global Hand Washing Day today, Lifebuoy is advocating greater emphasis on hand hygiene, education throughout Ghana, especially during this pandemic period. So let's all join in educating our kids that H will no longer stand for horse, hat, or even home, but H will now stand for hand washing. You can visit our pages on Facebook and Instagram at Lifebuoy to join the H for Hand Washing initiative and post content using the hashtags H for Hand Washing and hashtag Do the Lifebuoy. Lifebuoy, our favorite germ protection soap. We'll go for a quick break. When we return, we're confident of breaking the NDC-NPP duopoly. We'll put the spotlight on the promises, policies, and ideologies of minor political parties in Ghana.
plus. You said what's our target? I said 50% plus. And that is our target. A target is a target.
Good. I'm not interested in 8 years term. I am only interested in 4 years.
So with our policies, it's not just free SHS. It is free from kindergarten to tertiary.
This Thursday, the minority political parties will face off. Hassan Ayariga, APC, Ivor Green Street, CPP, David Apasira, PNC, Bridget Tugbenuku, PPP, Kofi Apawu, LPG. One night, 5 presidential candidates on one stage in a fierce exchange of ideas in the Joy News and Imani Africa Minority Political Parties Debate, 8 to 10:30 p.m. Thursday, 15th October, live from the UPSA campus, only on Joy News, Joy 99.7 FM, Love 99.5 FM, online at myjoyonline.com, and across our social media platforms.
This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. It's time for sports. Hansman Sando joins us in the studio. Asamoah is in the news again.
Definitely, and there is an incident that happened at the 37 Army Officers Mess.
You are trying to create an impression here. Before the game, you started making excuses.
But for your, why will you say you slap me?
I would. You see? But
he said so, and he even hit me now. He has hit me.
You deserve it. Take me to the radio. Yeah,
Where? Yeah. Wow.
So this allegedly transpired at the 37 Army Officers Mess during a game of tennis between former Black Star skipper Asamoah Gyan and one Godwin Marty. Now, Mr. Marty alleges he was assaulted by Asamoah Gyan and his brother Bafo and is threatening to sue for what he calls tortious liability and also press for the police to prosecute them criminally.
And this is not the first time he's been embroiled in such an off-field controversy.
Yes, there is that very famous case involving Sarah Kobla where the student accused Asamoah Gyan of raping and sodomizing her, and there is also the assault or the beating up of a journalist, Daniel Kenu, and an allegation which was later dropped by the said journalist. So we'll see how this pans out.
And that's Hansman Sando with the latest from the world of sports. Now, it promises to be a fierce contest as minor political parties lock horns in the debate to share their policies, promises, and ideologies with the people of Ghana. 5 presidential aspirants will be on one stage as your election headquarters in partnership with Imani Ghana brings you the minority parties debate tonight. We start off from the camp of Liberal Party of Ghana, which is hoping to create an upset for the 2 major political parties. Founder and leader Kofi Apawu says 2020 is the year Ghanaians will make history by rejecting the many failed promises from the other parties. Manuel Cranting has more in the following report.
Formerly known as the Independent People's Party, the Liberal Party of Ghana, LPG, is the brainchild of accountant and businessman Kofi Apawu. Having lived and worked in Ireland for a while, Kofi decided to return home to contribute his expertise in building what he calls a better tomorrow for all Ghanaians. For him, it was time for Ghanaians to try something different from NPP and NDC. This different option was the LPG, which has a desktop computer at its logo.
My name is Kofi Apawu. I'm the leader of the Liberal Party. We are here to promote liberalism. We are the only party in Ghana at the moment promoting liberalism.
From the camp of the LPG, we hear from All People's Congress, APC, Convention People's Party, CPP, People's National Convention, PNC, and PPP's Bridget Tugbenuku, who explains how the party intends to change the 1% score in 2016 to 50 plus 1 vote in 2020.
We want wins in many ways. We are still working on our target, but we want wins in many ways.
Oh yeah, they want to win the elections.
Yes, we also want.
They want to get 50% plus 1.
We also want to win the election.
50% plus 1.
50 plus.
And also
Ghanaians
because the
want something different now.
What?
Ghanaians are tired of the NPP and the NDC. In fact, we say we will be an amalgam. We'll be a bridge. Bridget will be a bridge between the NDC and the NPP.
I am giving you the opportunity that look, when you give the mandate to Hassan Ayariga, 2020. It's not going to be like NDC. It's not going to be an MPP. It's going to be policy-based economy.
And the debate is on tonight at the UPSC Auditorium at 8 p.m. It will be live on the Joy News channel, on radio as well, and online. And we'll be telling you more about it subsequently. But you need to tune in at 8 p.m. All the 5 aspirants will be on one stage to tell you why they are the best alternative for the 2 main political parties you'd want to stay for that. And what's trending? What are people talking about, Mafitso?
All right, so people are talking about the Ghana Gaming Commission, which has banned betting companies from using celebrities as ambassadors. A lot of celebrities have been talking about this. We'll take at Darko Vibes, who says Ghanaian celebrities cannot be ambassadors for alcoholic brands and now betting companies, ? Plus, they want to take taxes from us. At FEI Nocturnal says, did you know that as a Ghanaian artist or creative, you can't endorse an alcoholic brand or of any sort, and now no betting brands either? How do we fix this? The last one is from Ed Wendy Shea, who says, GH celebs, can we put our differences aside and fight the system? I guess we don't know how powerful we are. Well, I'm taking the FDA and the Gaming Commission to the Human Rights Courts. Celebs are also Ghanaians and deserve better. Ghana, wake up.
Thank you very much, Maps. At 1, we have business.
Government gives assurance to institute measures to sustain economic pickup post-easing of COVID-19 restrictions. This, plus many more, coming up at 1.
And that's all in this package on the Midday News. I am Emefa Apawu. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. And it is one thing to want good things in your life, and it is another to keep that which God has given you. Join Pastor Mensotabil for part 1 of the message, How Do I Keep Good Things in My Life? Living Word with Pastor Mensotabil right after this break.